Hello there everybody. Another lovely day, hasn't it been? A lovely day for everybody. Hope it's been a nice day for you. I don't really know who you are. You're just some random watching this on the internet. There isn't a target audience, there isn't a kind of like plethora of followers inundating me with requests and comments and follows. I've not had a single follow. I've had a couple of likes, which has been nice, but that's about it. What have I done today? I've had some breakfast and some lunch, and I was supposed to get, following my ward round yesterday, a consultation today regarding travelling to some new accommodation, because they said that they couldn't facilitate it, so they're not going to be able to get me to the accommodation to view it in person, so I'm apparently going to have a virtual tour of the accommodation, which I'm not really that happy about, to be honest. Like, I'm going to go and live somewhere, maybe, and I'd like to see it in person and sort of meet the people and have a look around the room and sort of see it, do you know what I mean? Like, but there we are, that's that. What else shall I talk about? Nothing really. I've chosen a different camera angle today. That's really interesting, isn't it? If you watch these videos, if you're one of the 30 people who watches these videos, please leave a comment and tell me what you'd like me to talk about. Because it's always useful to have some feedback, you know. I hope everybody checked out my bag of crisps yesterday. Hope you found that interesting for you. Yeah, let's just jump straight into some current affairs and get this sordid charade over with, shall we? Are modular synths worth it? Imprisoned by your own knowledge. Underdog Electronic, YouTube, one day ago. I'm going to swipe down and refresh this page, and hopefully they'll bring us some interesting content. Let's have a look. Ireland Airport offers dream job working on the beach. I once went to Beach Ward in Devon and I lost my memory, and then about 15 years later I forgot that had ever happened, and realised that I'd forgotten lots of things I didn't know about. And when I tried to get my subject access request in about 2017 from Torbay and South Devon NHS Foundation Trust, there's nothing in there about kind of the memory clinic or neurologists or any of the consultants that I spoke to. It had all just been omitted from the medical records, which were delivered by a Royal Mailman who I didn't think had any ID at the time, which is a bit of an issue for me. Oh, I have to just pause this for a second. That was just a man asking to take my vital signs, which I've declined to do this evening because I'm doing this. It's optional in hospital. You don't have to have your vital signs taken, or your physical observations, as they should be called. Pupil finds new way to monitor sewage pollution in the waterways. BBC One Day. That's very interesting, isn't it? Australian mining company expands into Oxfordshire. That's very interesting. Aristocrat forced to open part of estate to fund... I can't read. Aristocrat forced to open part of estate to public after a council ruling. Guardian, 2 hours ago. Well, I saw a thing about loads of hippies that were that were trying to go and occupy and protest on swathes of land. They said that like most of the land in our country is owned. There's all these massive estates that are owned by like Lord and Lady, fucking, you know, whoever, and they own loads and loads and loads and loads of land, and it's something like kind of like only about 25% of our country is actually accessible to us, because we've still got this kind of landed gentry that own huge amounts of it. And of course, these are kind of, you know, estates which are maintained for their natural biodiversity and their kind of, you know, their value, and they're taken great care of, and they're considered to be areas of natural beauty. But I don't really know how I feel about it. You know, these hippies were quite forthright, I thought, you know, in some ways. not massively, but I thought that they had quite a good point in some respects. You know, I didn't think that they were completely wrong. But maybe I'll have a little garden by tomorrow. I might have somewhere to live, even though I'll have to view it on the internet. I'll let you know how that goes, because I'm sure you're very interested. Windrush, Carnegie Medal, Guardian 6 hours ago. The Mayan civilization, 6 hours ago. Archaeologists find an ancient city in the jungle. I kind of used to be quite interested in archaeology for a bit. The Financial Times reckon that Europe's fallen behind America and the gap is growing. I mean, in what respect? In what respect? Should we read the article? Accept some cookies. What do you reckon, Gideon Rackman? From technology to energy to capital markets and universities, the EU cannot compete with the US. The Ukraine war has revived the transatlantic alliance, but the relationship between the US and its European allies is increasingly lopsided. The US economy is now considerably richer and more dynamic than the EU or Britain, and the gap is growing. That will have an impact well beyond relative living standards. Europe's dependence on the US for technology, energy, capital and military protection is steadily undermining any aspirations the EU might have for strategic autonomy. In 2008, the EU and the US economies were roughly the same size, but since the global financial crisis, their economic fortunes have dramatically diverged. As Jeremy Shapiro and Jana Poglerin of the European Council on Foreign Relations point out, in 2008 the EU's economy was somewhat larger than America's at 16.2 trillion versus 14.7 trillion. By 2022, the US economy had grown to 25 trillion, whereas the EU and the UK together had only reached 19.8 trillion. America's economy is now nearly one-third bigger, and it's more than 50% larger than the EU without the UK. Trillion's a lot of money, isn't it? That's 1,000 billion. But there's probably people who've got trillions of euros and pounds stashed away. There's a great diagram. If you just Google all the money in the world, it's this great website where there's a couple of good websites where it shows shows in little boxes, little squares, how much money there is in the world, and it shows it so in a really good qualitative scale that you can look at. Just Google all the money in the world in a graph or whatever, something like that. I found it and posted it on Facebook, but you probably won't be friends with me on Facebook because I don't have any friends or family that I speak to. It's my birthday coming up soon. I don't expect I'll be doing anything, but I might be out of hospital maybe by next week. If I get somewhere to live tomorrow, they might fast track my discharge and get me out of hospital, which would be nice. But if you're watching these videos, you probably don't want to talk to me because you can see I'm some sort of festering, meandering goon going through life at a rate of knots in this fine establishment. Let's have a look. Amazon have been accused of tricking Prime customers. BBC 3 hours ago. I'm not going to read that article. Quite a scary article about Russia playing nuclear roulette in Ukraine. That's not very nice. The EU states resist Brussels over 66 billion budget top-up. Well, there we are. That's quite a lot of resistance. Hopefully it won't be futile resistance from the European Union. Another fine establishment. Does anyone know anyone who works for Europol? Just out of interest. I don't know if anyone knows anyone who works for Europol. Send me a text. Send me a text on 07576 713026. I'd love to speak to somebody who's worked for them because I think that they're a really interesting organisation. I think I used to follow them on Twitter. They're very interesting. founded by UK Special Forces, owned and operated by former UK Special Forces, HMG Clothing, heavy machine gun clothing. Let's have a look at some of that. That sounds pretty cool. This is a company, it's got 3 skulls on there. Oh no, I've got shit in my teeth on a video. What's that? That is a tiny piece of chorizo skin, because we had chicken and chorizo pasta bake for tea. So there you are, people, that's gross. 10% off your first order of machine gun clothing, HMG. About us, since 2018 we've been creating designs that capture the spirit of war and the darkness that unlocks within us all. Our clothing is not just a fashion statement, it's a statement about the complexities of war and the human experience. Each piece in our collection is crafted from high quality materials and designed with precision to ensure that it not only looks great, also feels comfortable and durable. I don't really feel comfortable or durable. I really want to get out of hospital just as quickly as possible. But I'll try and keep it a short video this evening. I haven't been on leave today. I haven't done very much at all. I was kind of just waiting around for these guys to come and speak to me, but they never did, sadly. I went to the gym, just while I looked like shit, for half an hour or something. And that was it, really. And I think this is it. I could read some more interesting stuff. I'm just out of ideas. I'm feeling really deflated. I've got chorizo skin stuck in my teeth. I haven't had anything to talk about or think about or act on today. Just feeling very flat and kind of weak, deflated, depressed. I mean, I'm not massively depressed, but I'm quite depressed. Bit weird earlier on. One of the staff said to me, "Here mate, I'll show you this tune." Like, you know, we were out in the garden, I was playing some Chester P, and he came over and started spitting bars, and so like I was like spitting some bars at him, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool, you know, you like hip hop, like," and he was like, "Yeah, I'll show you this tune. You know, I think it's wicked." Like, and I was like, "All right, cool." He's like, "But not out here," like, and I was like, "What?" And like, just I'll show you in your room, like, and I was like, "Okay." So we came into the bedroom, and he showed me this tune on his phone, and it was like Polish hip hop. This was like about an hour ago. It was just shit. It wasn't shit, but like I couldn't understand it, and it was like really grainy YouTube video of like a sort of like not very good gangster, not very well produced kind of Polish gangster rap video. I didn't really have the heart to say to him that I thought it was shit, so I just sort of was like, "Yeah, that's good. It's sort of a bit like American hip hop, isn't it?" And that was really awkward, and I don't really know why he did that, because I don't think that he could have thought it was that great. I don't, unless he speaks Polish. I won't describe this guy to you because I'm not allowed to, but he doesn't look like the sort of guy who speaks Polish, because of his hair and his accent. I won't describe it, but it doesn't seem like he speaks Polish. But there we are. That was about the most uninteresting thing that happened to me today. I'll just stop the video now. It's not been a very good one, really. Hopefully the rest will be better. Please follow me on social media. Buy me some machine gun clothing for my birthday. HMG. Maybe don't. Like, here's my Facebook profile. See that on there? Yeah. And my Twitter profile, the one you want to follow me on. I've only got 93 followers, and most of them are bots. But that's my Twitter profile. You can follow me on there. And my Instagram profile. Oh, sorry, I had to pause there, just somebody else knocking on the door. My Instagram profile looks like that at the moment. Can you see that there? Yeah. My profile picture is a picture of me wearing my hat. But this is just a shit video now. I've done some current affairs. I can't think of anything else to talk about. So, all the best, with love. Happy 21st of June 2023. Everyone on YouTube. Cheers.